Hello and welcome back to the Your Golden Elevation channel. My name is Dr. Osa and I'm so happy to have you today here on the channel for our next conversation about dreams. I just did a video yesterday about dreams and I was led to come back on here and do a part 2 because that video, the first video that I did previous to this one, was just about a general overview of dreams, some of the research that I've done, some of the kind of experiences that I've had over the years. And I think that it's important to really drill down in this video about the importance of dreams. And so that's why I titled this video, Follow Your Destiny, Follow Your Dreams to Your Destiny. Your spiritual inheritance is in your dreams, because I feel like it's really important for all of us as we elevate and ascend during this important time in order to fulfill our purpose, to pay special attention to our dreams. And even if you're not a dreamer, or you don't remember all the dreams, or dreams are confusing to you, or you tend to have nightmares, I don't think it's a coincidence that you clicked on this video. And I don't think it's a coincidence that I've had so many technical issues this morning doing this video. There's some resistance, I think, to this message getting out, but I'm pressing forward to get it out anyway. And I thank you again for clicking on this video, whether you watch it the day that it's published or you watch it 2 or 3 years from now. My prayer is that this video will touch your life and bring you to a new level and give you a new sense, a refreshed and renewed sense of confidence in your dreams, and to know that you can use your dreams as a tool for self-transformation, for community and organizational transformation, and really to change the world. And I don't say that lightly. There's been so many examples in my own life and throughout history. And so it's really important that I do this video today, and I thank God for the opportunity to share from some of the experiences that I had. So hopefully that they will help you in your journey. And so the reason why I said that you have the opportunity to follow your dreams to your destiny is because dreams are so pregnant with purpose, if I can use that terminology. They're so full of symbolism and unconscious kind of belief systems, and even nudges and intuitions, and so many different rich opportunities to really understand ourselves and to apply that knowledge and that understanding to our world. So I encourage you to actually watch the previous video that I did on this topic, because I go into a couple of examples of how dreams actually changed my life. But I think that dreams, excuse me, dreams are part of our birthright. We all are born with the ability to dream. Even people who are nonverbal can dream. Even babies who don't know, how to speak or how to communicate in a verbal way yet, they dream. They dream even in the womb. So there's so many facets to dreams that are so important and that follow us throughout our entire lives. And I believe that dreams are all of our birthright, because they help us see what's possible beyond what we're being presented with in the physical realm. So with the, challenges and, opportunities as well as obligations that we have throughout our daily lives, we can often become really wrapped up in a preconceived notion of who we are. Our jobs and our colleagues kind of give us a message on one hand about who we are. Our family and our friends and our neighbors and other relationships give us messages. Media, of course, social media is a big one, but also television, books, all of these things give us notions or ideas of who we are. So we always are bombarded with these constant inputs of, you should do this, or you are that, or I perceive you as this. I perceive you as a quiet person or a shy person or a very talkative person or an outgoing person or a risk taker. And all of those things might be true, have some truth to them, based on how people experience you in different social contexts and situations. But ultimately, you're beyond how you show up in this world and how you show up to other people, and what media, whether it's social media, TV, news, whatever, those things reflecting back to you, what they perceive to be who you are and what you're interested in and what your potential is. So it really goes so much further than what we can imagine in our physical waking world. And so dreams are our natural birthright to explore the depths of our souls and to explore and to rediscover and to reposition ourselves as far as our purpose goes. And so I feel like it's really important for everyone to pay close attention to your dreams and to just all of the messages that you get in your dreams. And so I wanted to challenge all of you to journal for the next 2 weeks. And I was going to say 1 week first, but I don't think 1 week is enough, because especially if you're just starting out getting used to following your dreams or reflecting on them and taking notes and understanding, what kind of symbols are coming up, what kind of messages are coming up. It might take you a little while to get your feet wet. So I would recommend 2 weeks of dream journaling. So just keep a journal, or it could be your phone, but I recommend a journal because it's easy to kind of flip back and see, what happened over time. You can do that in a phone notes app as well, but it's really cool, I think, to actually write it down. And it might be easier to write and type than type, depending on, what your preference is when you first wake up. So at least 2 to 3 days a week. If you can't do it every day, I would say maybe on the weekend or days where you have more flexibility, or even planning to wake up earlier, like 15 to 20 minutes to take some time to write down your dreams. And I want you to ask yourself 3 questions as you journal to yourself. What did I dream about? How did it make me feel? And what message is this dream what message is this dream trying to send me? So the first question is, what did I dream about? How did it make me feel? And what is this dream trying to tell me? What message is this dream trying to get across? So the first question, a lot of times I will spend time first before I delve into the meaning of the dream to actually remember all of the components of the dream, like who was in the dream, what were they doing in the dream, what was the sequence of events, so what happened first, second, third, or fourth. Were there any transitions to weird non sequiturs? That happens to me all the time. All of a sudden I'm on the top of a mountain or in a totally different place than where I started off in the dream. So you can think of those as dream sequences where you have a dream about a specific area and then it kind of transitions. And I think it's important because sometimes when we wake up, we're feeling hazy. We're what did I dream about? I have to sit there about sometimes a few minutes, 5 minutes, just to, think about what did I actually dream about? Who was in the dream? Trying to make out faces or the personas that kind of give me a vibe of someone that I might know, or maybe I don't know them at all, or maybe it was someone that I knew years and years ago that fell off my radar. I hadn't even thought about them in 10 years. So it's important first to really spend that immediate first time recalling your dream so that there are no gaps in what you were dreaming about, and that helps you understand and interpret later. Because if you immediately go into how you felt about it or what it's trying to tell you, sometimes you might miss some information because we're just kind of trying to bring it out of ourselves, if you will, and we might miss a little bit of it. And then the second question, how did it make me feel? I think it's really important to understand why your dreams make you feel certain ways, because sometimes they could be anxiety-induced dreams, or they could be dreams that inspire you, or dreams that make you feel cautious, or dreams that make you feel worried or concerned, or dreams that make you feel confused even. So it's important to understand how that dream made you feel, because your feelings are really important indicators for the type of experience that you had in the dream and what message might be wrapped up in the dream itself. And then finally, the last question is, what is this dream trying to tell me, or what message is this dream trying to communicate or bring across to me? It's important to understand the symbols in your dream, or like the people who appeared, or the sequence of events, or the way that people showed up, in the dream, or the way that you kind of did certain actions in the dream. Like maybe you had a weapon in the dream, or maybe you had a certain types of pair of shoes on, or a certain outfit, or maybe you had your hair styled in a certain way, or you had some people who in your family in the dream who had passed away. So all of those things are important to understand what dreams mean. And I'm not going to like give you a false impression to say that, you'll understand what your dreams mean immediately, because sometimes dreams are foreshadows of what's coming later in your life. And you may sit with a dream for weeks or months and still not know what it means. And I don't think that that's a bad thing. It just means that your physical world is shifting perhaps to match the spiritual message that you received. And I spoke in the previous video about the home that my family lives in now, where I had a dream, a recurring dream that happened for over about 2 years off and on, about this particular house and property. And I found it one day just out of the blue. So we can't really put our own like human limitations or human lens to something that's so spiritual and dynamic, and that so much is going on behind the scenes in the spiritual realm as God works on our behalf to bring those things to pass. But there are some dreams that I think, you are often prompted to act on, because there are some things that you might need to change immediately. So that's why it's always, in my opinion, important to sit with your dreams for a while and to see what messages are trying to come across. And a lot of these messages, like I said earlier when I was talking about your spiritual birthright to dream, they challenge some of the paradigms and the seated notions that we have about ourselves that may really give us an off-putting vibe. Like, for example, maybe you're a shy person and you don't really like to be in the spotlight, but you keep getting these dreams about speaking in front of huge audiences, or, doing something that's very in the forefront. And that may not be who you are now, but maybe there is something in you, that's calling you to do something bigger than what you're doing now. And it may look different, than what actually is appearing in your dream, but it's like a representation of stepping out of your shell and something that you need to look further into. So there's just so many ways that we can understand dreams and create a totally aligned and elevated life path by listening to our dreams. And I think the more you listen to your dreams, the more you get sensitive to the messages that you receive in the dreams, the more dreams can come in an easier way, and you kind of become practicing anything else. You become better at remembering and recalling your dreams, interpreting them, and actually taking action on some of the things that come up in your dreams. In the previous video, I mentioned that I had a series of dreams, like 4 dreams all in one night. And after all of those dreams, I recalled them. I spent time thinking through who was in the dream. The same 3 questions I gave you. Who was in the dream, or what did I dream about? How did I feel? And what is this trying to tell me? And there were so many different messages in those dreams, but I know that from paying more attention to my dreams, I was able to be more sensitive to God's direction and spiritual guidance in my waking life, just going around in my day-to-day life. And so I can give one example. So recently I got takeout from a restaurant that my family frequents a lot. And I had been seeing this woman there for, probably a few months. And it turns out that she's a supervisor at this particular restaurant. And so I actually got takeout, and I was sitting in the car. I was by myself this time, and I was just sitting in the car eating the food, and I just got this message that came over me that said that you need to go in there, back in the restaurant, and tell the person, the supervisor, the woman who I've been seeing quite a bit, that she needs to step out into her purpose and even just do a little bit day by day, but just don't let fear stop her anymore. It's time for her to do what God has told her to do. And I was like, what? I was enjoying my food, and I was like thinking, like, for a second, like, is this real or am I making this up? Like, am I imagining? And it's easy to start questioning things when you don't want to do it. So I just sat there for like maybe 5 minutes questioning myself, and but it was like a small, still voice that kept prompting me to, go back in there and talk to her. And I don't know her. I didn't even know her name or anything. We just kind of were very cordial to each other, and she gave great customer service, but I didn't know who she was. But as I was contemplating not going in there as opposed to going in, a bird, like a beautiful bird, just flew in from my right, peripheral vision, and right in front of me, right in front of my car in the parking lot. And it just sat there. And I just felt like that was a spiritual message, because the pattern of the feathers was so beautiful. It was like this white, black, and gray kind of pattern. I'd never seen a bird like that before. And I was in the middle of the city, so I wasn't in the middle of nowhere or anything like that. So it really took me aback, and I was like, that's a sign that I have to go in there. So I actually went to the restaurant, and I asked to speak with her, but she was kind of busy, so it took a few minutes for her to come out. And when she came out, I just poured out my heart to her, and I just told her the message that I received. And I'm not the type of person that does this. I mind my own business and drink my water. But I was led to do this and to create that kind of spiritual connection with her, and to let her know that God hasn't forgotten about her. And I just started crying, and we started hugging. And it turns out that she is the eldest of 6 children, and I'm also the eldest of 6 children. So we have that eldest female child kind of dynamic that in common, and we have similar birthdays, and just have dealt with some similar challenges in our lives. And so we just had a really enriching conversation. And she was saying, it's not a coincidence that you came in here to speak to me today, because I know that I'm one of God's chosen ones, and God has me on this path. And she just shared some beautiful things about her life, and about how, how much she's striving for excellence in her life. And so I don't know, the ultimate outcome of that situation. Will she do what God told her to do? Or, what did God even want her to do? Because that part of the message didn't come through to me, but it was clear that I needed to impart that message. And so I think, just to go back to what I was saying earlier, I think the fact that I was so sensitive to my dreams enabled me to hear and receive the guidance to actually touch her life in a particular way. And it wasn't me, it was all God, but it just seemed like the perfect timing. And God is wanting to use all of us in different ways to touch people around us, to touch our families, to touch our communities, to touch the organizations that we work in, to touch children who are without parents because their parents passed away in COVID, or they feel so alienated because, they did online learning for 2 or 3 years, and now they feel so socially awkward. God always has a message for all of his children, and he's just looking for people who are sensitive enough to hear it, and then obedient enough to act on it. And so I encourage all of you to tap into your spiritual birthright by actually paying attention to your dreams, and not taking them for granted, not taking them as a everyday or every, a given thing, but actually receive the gift that's given to you on a regular basis. I don't dream every night, they say everyone dreams every night if you reach a certain point in your sleep pattern, but I don't I don't remember my dreams every night. But it seems like when I'm supposed to do something, it's something in the dream that stands out, like a color or a person or some sort of interaction that makes me remember what was said or what was done, because I'm supposed to do something. And so I just wanted to just get on here and, tell you all a couple of stories, and I do like to tell stories if you haven't noticed. I have a lot of stories, and I just hope that my experience and my just spiritual guidance to even come back on here helps you in your day-to-day life and helps you understand more of your purpose so that you can elevate and not take your dreams for granted because they're so precious. I didn't know what to do for 2 years with that dream about the house. I kept asking God, like, what does this mean? Like, why do I keep getting the same dream, you know? But it was revealed over time, and it was a gift that was being imparted to me as part of my spiritual inheritance. I was meant to elevate from where I was. Even though I was satisfied, I was meant to go higher because ever since we moved here, so many things have opened up for us. So many transformative experiences, so much expansion, and it showed me that I was playing small. So your dreams can also show you how you're playing small in your life and that you were meant to do something more. And there's so much more inside of you that you don't even realize until you actually get out there and step out on faith. And all the opportunities and the resources and the connections and the insights and all of that will come over time. But we just have to step out on faith on our dreams and just make sure that we know what we're supposed to do based on our dreams. And if we're not sure, just sit in meditation, you know, and ask prayer and meditation and ask God, what am I supposed to do with this dream? I'm confused, or I'm not sure. I can do this. I can take this step, or I can take that step. But also in dreams, a lot of times you get spiritual revelations about some of the same things that you dreamt about. It's kind of like nudges or just different things that kind of synchronize with your dreams that tell you that, okay, I'm supposed to, you know, leave this profession and start over in a new career path, or I'm supposed to start a family, or I'm supposed to start a business, or I'm supposed to help these children in my neighborhood who are parentless and who are looking for guidance and support. I'm supposed to have these people over for dinner and just learn more about them and, you know, give back in some way. And so there's so many messages that dreams are helping humanity elevate. Dreams are not just helping you elevate, but they're helping humanity elevate if we really pay attention to them and we really follow the spiritual threads to our spiritual inheritance that are in all of our dreams. And so, so I've talked quite a bit today about this topic, and it may end up being a series. I'm not sure. I'm just going to pray and think about where this is supposed to go next. But it's actually quite much longer than I planned to talk today. And I'm just checking my checklist to see if I covered everything, and I did. So thank you so much for joining me for this conversation. As I mentioned, all of my videos are conversations. It may seem like I'm talking to you, but if you were here with me, I would pause and let you get a couple of words in, and more than a couple even, but just to tell your stories. So since we're not in person, I would love to hear from you in the comments. Tell me something about your dreams or what you learned from this video. What action steps are you going to take around your dreams when you think about those 3 questions? What did I dream about? How did I feel about the dream? And what is the dream trying to tell me? Tell me some stories about your family and dreams. I just love to hear people's stories and just how dreams or even intuition change their lives. So I hope to hear from you soon. And I'm going to try to end all of my videos with a little slogan that kind of ties into the channel title. So I just want to say, stay golden and stay elevated, and I'll see you in the next one. See you in the next one.